Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Cannabis Capital Markets Conference here in Frankfurt. And with me here is now Philip Campbell, the Chair and CEO of Ascent Industries. Welcome and good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here. What's your company about? Can you give us a short overview, please?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. So Ascent is a publicly traded cannabis company on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol ASNT. We are a multi-state, multi-country cannabis company focused on consumer packaged goods. So products like gel caps, medical products, and as well as adult use products.
Okay, great. So let's dive into it. What are your, let's call it brands, what are your products?
Yeah, we focus on both the medical cannabis opportunity as well as the adult use opportunity. So we really
That's recreational, right?
Yes, recreational.
The feel-good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we can make a number of different products, up to 40 different products we currently sell. So we do gel caps, tinctures, vapor pens, pre-rolled joints, gummies, taffies, chocolates, some concentrates like shatters, waxes, oils, and things like that. So really just focused on consumer packaged, branded goods where we can maintain high margins as the industry starts to mature over the years ahead.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
When you say maintain high margins, how high are your margins? Meaning, what is like the gross margin before taxes? Maybe you can talk about EBITDA, stuff like that.
Yeah, so the gross margin on some of our products is, on some of them is about 65%.
Nice.
Some of them, the average is about 35% across all of our different products. So it's a really high margin industry where we really try to focus on maintaining that margin as the industry starts to mature. We see that there's going to be a lot of price compression for companies that are focused on just cultivating the product. It's going to be a raw material commodify, and so we want to focus on the value added side of the market where we can maintain high margins.
Fantastic. Yeah. So when you say you focus on the value added side, do you also produce, let's say, the base material, or you are buying that in addition and then you produce your products?
Yeah, at this point in time, we do produce the products in Canada. We do the cultivation and produce the input material, the raw materials that we use for extractions. However, in the future, we see ourselves divesting of some of the cultivation activities that we currently do in favor of focusing on the value-added side where we do maintain those margins. The reason we have to cultivate now is because there's a shortage of supply in the global market. And so to de-risk our business and ensure that we do have input material for our extractions, we have to do the cultivation ourselves. We see in 3 to 5 years as the market starts to mature and the industry starts to segment into people who focus on certain parts of the value chain, that we don't want to focus on cultivation because we think that that's going to be very commodified and the margins will become a lot thinner. And the companies that focus on that, the value added side where you do the consumer packaged goods is where the margins will maintain.
Okay, fantastic. So when you say consumer packaged goods, how is your distribution working? Because, I mean, you cannot go to whatever food mart or something like that and you can say, here's my cannabis product, please sell it.
Right.
This is regulated, this is licensed, of course. So
Definitely.
How does it work? How does your distribution, your sale working?
Yeah, so there's a few different sales channels that we focus on in the Canadian marketplace. It's different in every market. So in Oregon, we can only sell within the Oregon market. So we sell to the dispensaries in Oregon, and the same thing in Nevada. In Canada, because it's a federally licensed system, we have a lot more options as far as distribution. So we're approved to sell to the provincial distribution system with the province of BC and the province of Ontario. And we're in conversations with a number of other provinces to be able to sell the products into those recreational or adult use channels. We're also able to sell directly to medical patients via our online e-commerce website once we get our sales license.
They need to have a prescription from a doctor?
Correct. Yeah. So that's selling medical products, and that's B2C. So that's actually a higher margin opportunity because rather than wholesaling it to the province, we're able to sell it directly to the consumer, to the patient, and that means that we're going to be able to maintain a higher margin. We're also able to export, and so once we get our license in Denmark, which we're anticipating in the first quarter of next year, we're going to call for an inspection to get our facilities certified for European good manufacturing practices, GMP, and then once we do that, we'll be able to export the products that we manufacture in Canada into the European market using Denmark as our landing point, and then being able to distribute them throughout the rest of the continent.
Fantastic. So that means you have already, let's say, an internationalization plan, I would call it, because I heard already like you are in the States, US meaning, you are in Canada, now you're coming to Denmark, and then you want to conquer Europe.
Yeah, definitely. We're one of the very few companies that's actually licensed in the United States and in Canada, and soon to be licensed in Europe. You know, there's only one or two other companies that I can think of that I know of that have licenses both in Canada and the United States. So we're very well positioned from a licensing perspective to really create a global cannabis company. Currently, the U.S. is the largest cannabis market in the world. 300 million people. You know, California,
I mean,
which
California
eventually-
has 39 million people alone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. So we really see the opportunity long term in the United States, but also globally in Europe. There's 750 million people, and it's really just starting out in the European market right now. So we're excited about that.
Talking about global markets, what is your estimation in your company? Because obviously you must have a very good business plan, a game plan, how you do it. What is your feeling concerning, on the one hand, supply, and on the other hand, how would you see the growth rate for the demand? Let's say first recreational, because let's say that's maybe the easier part, but let's say for medical, because there you need patients, there you need people who have diseases, illnesses, whatever. Yeah, but I have read, for example, in Cannabis research that they estimate like 800,000 patients by 2025 for Canada.
Right.
So those are real markets. I mean,
Yeah, it's a huge market,
What are
for
your
sure.
plannings? What are your estimates? Meaning, are you planning more on the conservative side? Give us an insight a bit how you are seeing the markets for the next 3 years, I would call it.
For the next 3 years, we foresee a shortage of regulated medical cannabis and cannabis in general around the entire world, not just in Canada, but globally. There's always, whenever a new market opens up, whether it's in Germany, Denmark, the United Kingdom, wherever, there's a vacuum. There's no product available. As soon as legislation opens up and the market is open, there's no product available. And so for us, what we're focused on doing is producing large volumes of products at scale so that we can be first movers into those new markets, create market share, brand awareness, connect with our consumers, and then build our product offering from there. So in our facilities in Canada, we have a 4,000 square meter production facility. So it's extraction manufacturing, where we're focused on doing gel caps and tinctures, which sell very nicely in through the pharmaceutical distribution model, which is where increasingly most of the countries are going with the distribution of medical cannabis here in Germany, in Denmark as well. Also, the United Kingdom is expected through pharmacies. So really building industrial scale to produce large volumes of units to be able to enter those markets quickly. So that's what our focus is on.
Okay, that's really interesting. Super.
Yeah.
As you are listed, of course, you said it in the beginning. So shareholders expect returns longer term. I mean, you can, if you are not Elon Musk, you cannot rely on marketing and hope, and producing every quarter losses. So finally, you must make money.
Definitely.
So what is the, let's say, what are your predictions for 2019, 2020? Will you be profitable? I mean, you have a beautiful margin already. You told us 35% all over.
Yep.
So what are the plans there? What revenue estimations you have?
Well, we don't have any public revenue estimations out there currently, but we do have forecasts for our greenhouse, which is able to produce 60,000 kilograms of cannabis per year. So once that's licensed towards the end of this year, our first harvest will be in the first quarter, maybe the second quarter of next year. And then after that, we'll be able to produce 60 million grams. And so you can assign whatever price point you want, $4, $5, $6 per gram.
So we talk about $250 to $300 million.
Yeah, that's definitely the potential. And so that's what we're working on. That's just one facility, mind you, right? We have facilities in Oregon, Nevada, and elsewhere. And so it's subject to some regulatory uncertainty, which is why, if the licensing takes another month or two, then it changes the forecast.
Okay,
so it's hard to
normal.
say with certainty exactly what it's going to be. Just that we're very well positioned once those licenses do come into play.
Yeah, but I think the touch point is you will really start to make money. Your business is not based off hope, like we had in the internet bubble.
Right.
Yeah? I mean, you had companies $5 billion worth, and they did even not own the chair. The CEO was sitting on it. Yeah, everything was leased.
Yeah,
and
they got
so
paid for
this is a
engineers.
real business.
Absolutely,
Correct?
it's very real. It's tangible. We have 3 facilities in Canada. We have 150 employees. We have a very qualified team of individuals that work very hard to put our plan together. And so, starting next year, we're expecting to generate a lot of revenue and a lot of profit for our shareholders. Ultimately, what we want to do, though, is retain that profit and continue to build the company.
Yeah.
So we're not looking to do dividends anytime in the near future. We see this as a long-term play. We see that the market is going to continue to open up over the next 5 to 10 years in different regions of the world. And so rather than continue to do raises and dilute shareholders, we want to retain those earnings and then deploy them back into other opportunities to continue to grow the business.
So like a reinvestment program.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. To get that all started, you are completely funded. You have enough money in the bank?
Yeah, we've raised about $40 million so far this year. When we did our listing in August, which is when we started trading, we did about a $23 million financing. So we're well funded right now. We're looking to grow our support and our network with shareholders on the market. So if anybody's interested, our symbol is ASNT. Feel free to buy on the market. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, great. Then, Philip, thank you very much. It was really interesting to me. And I would say keep it going. We want to see nice sales next year.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Super.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it was Philip Campbell, the chair and CEO of Ascent Industries. And you heard it. The company has a real good game plan. They are already internationalizing, starting next year also onwards from Denmark. They want to conquer Europe. They are already present in the US and in Canada. And as you heard, I asked for some predictions. Obviously, they cannot give us a full, let's say, estimate for the next year and also for 2020 because this market is too new. But I think the example of selling 60 million grams at approximately $4 to $5 gives us a nice guidance to that because he said 35% is his gross margin approximately over all products. So you can do the math by yourself and evaluate the company. I would suggest check it out. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Frankfurt.